Hello and welcome. You're watching Greenwich Live Sessions. This is your host Umar Khan, and I'm back with another show and another guest. And yet again, I'm very excited to introduce my guest for today. And I have very special guest with me for today's program. And let me introduce her. I'll start off with the name, of course, and then the brilliant things she has been doing over the years. She is Miss Marceline Girol from Malaysia. Initially, she was there back in France, but for the past 10 years, she is in Malaysia. She is a PhD in marketing and strategy. She has 15 years experience in 4.0 technology and marketing, and she speaks 7 languages. In addition to that, she was the first recipient of the Women Marketeer of the Year award in Malaysia, awarded by the Institute of Marketing Malaysia in collaboration with Mark Plus Incorp, helmed by Mr. Hermawan Kartajaya. I hope I pronounced that right. She's a renowned marketing guru, and very warm welcome to Dr. Marceline. Hello, ma'am. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you very much to have me with you tonight. So, Sham Baher, is it rightly pronounced?
Absolutely right. And I can well imagine the delight on the face of everyone, including mine, that you welcomed us all in our own regional language. So that is so sweet of you.
Can you say it in French?
I can repeat if you tell me.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Yes, perfect. You see?
Right. So from this live session, initially we have started the learning exchange program where we're learning each other's languages. So that is a wonderful start, ma'am. How would you like to tell us about all this COVID-19 situation and how has life and work been affected at your end?
So in Kuala Lumpur, it was really hard. It is still very hard. The lockdown started the 18th of March. We couldn't go out. We couldn't move. It was really bad. It hits us immediately, like all the shops were closed, you couldn't go out, there was only allowed one person in the car, and there was roadblock everywhere, so that you really couldn't move out from your house. So this was
Right.
very, very hard for not only the companies, but also the people that was living, and even people were scared to go to the hospitals because they thought that COVID-19 was so dangerous that they couldn't even take their own treatment and go to the hospital to get their normal treatment. So that was very, very hard.
Right.
Then started um, somehow an adaptation period after 3 weeks. But you can imagine that some people cannot be isolated like that, because at the moment that there was two in the car, we get a summon, the police take the people. There was people that was jailed. Um, we were fined of 1,000 ringgit if we were two in the car for whatever reason. It was really incredible. There was nobody on the road. It was like from day to night. The next day there was really nobody on the road, but not only at night or in the day. It was 24/7. The shops were closed. It was like a ghost city. A
Absolutely.
ghost town.
Like we've seen in the movies in the past, like the pandemic hits or something happens, the world is getting to an end. But this was like, life was shaken, not only in one country, but around the globe. Everything was affected. And but I look at things positively. Let's just look at the productive side of things. Where things have been affected, there's been lots of damages to the economics of the world and the whole financial situation around the globe. At the same time, there are new opportunities. Life is giving us a second chance. We can sit back and think of all the things that we've been doing wrong. We've seen that during this COVID-19, because of the lockdown, the whole nature around the world is being healed. We've seen the ozone layer being healed. We've seen the seas are getting greener. We've seen the breeze is getting clearer. So there are lots of positive things as well. And I think human beings should now look at life as a second chance. Inshallah, once post COVID, we can start with a fresh page with a better version of our own selves.
I've learned one thing in Chinese, in fact, and that's one of the languages that I tried to learn but I couldn't learn. Crisis is composed of two characters, Wei Ji. Wei means danger and Ji means opportunity. So it was, yes, an evidence. It was chaos for everybody. But at the end of the day, we need to adapt, and that's the new norm. Nothing will be the same. Even you find the vaccine tomorrow,
Yeah,
the habits of the change is so anchored inside that it will never be the same. It really will never be the same. If you look at it, some countries like France, for example, has radically changed. They say that it's worse than a war. So therefore, they created a new political and economic opportunity that is shifting into green technology and ecology. So they have implemented, in fact, the next few years into making a better economic and sustainable world. So they say now the transition is made towards a sustainable world, whereas other countries saw that somehow we could live without so much petrol. So
absolutely.
that's the balance that needs to be taken. And if you see, for example, in Malaysia, before COVID-19 happened or hit us, um, penetration rate of somehow internet and online purchasing was by on mobile devices was by 68%. And since now we are increasing by 170%. So can you imagine the numbers of people that act differently, eat differently? And of course, on the bad side, there is this somehow man and woman relationship that was not used to live together. So there was a lot of, battles inside the house and a lot of calls. Like the two bears that were falling in love before cannot fall in love anymore afterwards. So that, yeah, this happens too. I don't know whether there is more babies afterwards or more divorce afterwards. This needs to be analyzed. But yeah, we had the baby boomers.
Hmm. But
So
usually, what the problem we see is the complaints are that you don't give me enough time. So now time is everything that we have. So I think that complaint would be reduced, and I think hopefully people will be able to get their relationships right and discover the beauty of life, and that is love, and that is relationship. So I'm looking and being very positive regarding that matter. But ma'am, you have decades of experience when it comes to marketing. You are the marketing guru. And please let your audience and students know what is 4.0 marketing.
we always speak about digital marketing. Everybody's saying digital marketing is the future, etc. The point, you can never take off the offline part, means the human being, because like you said, we have emotion, we need this emotion, we need the contact, we need to see people, we need to communicate with people, and that's the most important. So marketing 4.0 in fact is the cohabitation between offline and online marketing, whereas digital marketing focuses essentially on everything what is online. But the offline world needs to connect with the online world, because the offline world cannot be erased. We always exist and we will always be there. Tourism is one of the biggest offline connection that exists between races and human and nations. This is how we understand culture. This is how we understand heritage. This is how we understand languages.
Right.
So whatever you can do online needs to have a connection offline. And to do marketing today, we need to understand the channel, the comparative channel between online and offline. What is TV online? What is in fact magazine online? What is in fact out of home online? What are this conversion, and how can they work together, and how can it be powerful together? And COVID-19 has changed dramatically the landscape, the economic landscape. And today, the behavior of the people, because of this pandemic, has changed. The buyer, the customer path has changed. The seller has changed. They don't rely anymore on their shops physical, they need also to rely on their online shops. So
Absolutely.
this interconnection between both the online world and the offline world needs to live together. And this is what I try, and I hope I succeed to say to the student: if this job of marketeer 4.0 does not exist today, you have specialists in digital marketing, you have specialists in marketing, but you don't have a specialist in marketing 4.0 that embraces the two languages, the
Right.
offline and the online language. And that's the most important today, because without this, you are lost.
Absolutely, ma'am. You talked about adaptation. You talked about this post-COVID world that we're going to be in, and we talked about the opportunities this COVID situation creates for the online side of marketing. But marketing overall, we've seen is a very aggressive field where you have to reach out to the customers, and not everyone, when you talk about the global scenario, not everyone is comfortable when it comes to online. Not everyone is educated and aware enough to switch to online. So, keeping all those people in mind, how do you think the strategies of the new marketing world post COVID will work accordingly?
I think one, I call him the father of Asian marketing, the Professor Herman Katajaya, or Professor Dr. Herman Katajaya. He saw it the first very, very well. You need to be prepared.
Right,
You really need to be prepared. That the change, whatever it is, whatever you do, will happen. So you want it or you don't want it, you have to go through. You have to be prepared. So now those who are not prepared to be online, understanding marketing 4.0 will help them to go online, will help them to understand, in fact, that it's very easy. It's just somehow a mirroring. For example, we hear a lot about, let's say, um, Shopee, or we hear about Lazada, the online sales. But in fact, what are they? They are, in fact, your mall that you see and you go everywhere, every day, translated online. Inside, there are little shops like you have it in your mall. So those who are mall owners, for example, that are desperate because all the malls are closed, in fact, theoretically, in online world, they could create the mall that has their name with their customers inside, and have an online conversion of it and earn money from the both sides.
right,
If I speak now for the student, if you look at the students today, everybody says it's so hard to find a job. There's so many job loss, right? COVID-19 has predicted so many job loss. In the same time, ER 4.0 predicted so much job loss. It was said that if the industry converted into ER 4.0, a lot of jobs will be lost. But in fact, it's an advantage for the student. If they learn now the basic of marketing 4.0, even applied to themselves,
right.
they can sell themselves much better. Who today is an expert in marketing 4.0? Whether in today, the tools of ER 4.0, such as augmented reality, virtual reality, in fact, reduce the gap, the distance between you and me. If today I would like you to visit Australia, I give you a 360 degrees film about Australia, you will be transported into Australia. You have never been into Australia, but you travel there. So this is what allows you to do. If now I have a product, or I'm a student, I have created in the architect department, or even in the interior design department, or even in the engineering department, an engine, etc. And I want to show, and I want a job in America, in Canada, even in Europe.
Yes,
How can I compete? Only if I take a phone like this that has the ability, like the Samsung with the AR camera, scan it, put it online, send it to my future employer, and says, "This is what I've created." It's
wow,
more powerful than a TV. It's more powerful than anything. So that
absolutely.
is what marketing 4.0 can do for yourself, for an organization, for the for the political landscape, for all the entire industry. This is the shift. Today, marketing 4.0, when you are not there yet, you will come there. So it's how comfortable you are. That's the next generation to help them the transition. Because I know a lot of businesses done old ways, like the cookies, etc. But the young generation can come, make the transition easier for them, because this old cookie factory becomes a tourist site and visit in the country, but also exported online.
Absolutely. And ma'am, I'll add a few things to this. Like whenever we've seen innovations or inventions in life, we talk about the past 2, 3 centuries. The era has been of the 19th century was the era of inventions. So whenever some invention was made, it was really hard to accept for people. When there were no airplanes, and some people said that planes will fly, it was the Wright brothers who flew first. So people, they always dreamt that how can someone fly? How can human being fly? But once they flew, so everyone believed in it, and later on they adapted. Similarly, even in this technological time where we've got so much technology advancement, we're still creating something new, like new networks, the faster internet, and now where you're talking about marketing 4.0. Many people, even now, being so technologically advanced, they're having a difficulty to understand its importance and how well it can improve the world. And as you just said, world will get more closer. This we're already living in a global world, and just as you said that you're there in Malaysia, I'm here in Pakistan, and we're having a live session. That's all due to technology. But we need to spread that awareness. We need to spread that importance. We need to educate people of the new tomorrow, and especially after this post COVID, where lots of things are going to change, lots of things will be forcefully moved to online. I think this is the perfect time to spread awareness of marketing 4.0.
I think it is important for the student to take it into action now, because companies will need them. And I wish, and that is my biggest wish, is that they create the job as marketeer 4.0 in the market post COVID-19. And this young generation are able to steer it, and I will be able to give them the tool so that they can spread it and they can make the economy of Pakistan better. Today, on the humanitarian approach, I think a lot of government has switched into application to track, in fact, those who have COVID and not COVID, by taking temperature, by taking the data, etc. I've never seen a government developing so many applications to track people. But that's only the starting point for them. And I wish that the next generation does not fear to get a job when they're going out from the university. Because when they are marketing 4.0, there are not a lot out of them. There are really not a lot of them, out of them that really understand how it works. So this is my quest today, is to prepare the young generation, because I believe in the students that they can bring a better life. And I know most of them are coming from Pakistan, because I know that big position in the world are taken by Pakistanis, because they are able to adapt, because they are smart, because they think fast. And yes, there are Chinese, there are Hong Kong, there are Singapore. But look at the big position. Look at the big marketeers in the world. Who are they? What position do they have?
Absolutely right. Ma'am, before I talk about your inspirational journey, and it would be such a learning curve for all the students and our audience, I would like to take a few comments from the audience, and let's see who we have with us and what they have to say. So we have with us Manur Faruqi, and she says, "Glad to see you, ma'am. Welcome, and it's our pleasure to be able to hear your session."
I'm
Yeah.
very.
We have Ms. Shazia Anwar with us. She welcomes you to the show. And we have with us Dr. Shafiqur Rahman. He heads the economics department at Greenwich University. and is very well connected when we talk about the financial situations and the economics of Pakistan and the world. So he's there and he writes, "It is an honor for Greenwich University, Karachi, that you are here, Marceline. Welcome to the show."
Thank you,
So
doctor.
and absolutely, it is a true honor to learn from you the decades of experience and your whole international exposure and your such inspirational journey that we're going to talk about in a bit. I think it's just wonderful that in a session of 30, 40 minutes, we can grasp those 20, 30 years of experience that you got. So now, you share your wonderful journey of how you started this journey, how you got into the marketing side. You did your PhD, won several awards, worked with many big organizations, and now you own your own business. So, talk us through the brilliant and beautiful journey.
So that was a fun journey. When I look back, if I think back, I'm already tired before. I started. I had my MBA. I was hired before that. I had my MBA, so I had immediately a CFO position. Um, Less than 2 years later, I was a CEO of a multinational that was selling a propeller for the boats that was present in 150 countries. I worked very, very hard. One moment in time, after 4 years, I decided to quit and calm down a little bit. This is where I thought that probably it was a good time to do my MBA after this experience. And then I went into advertising. I say to myself, let's start very slow. Let's be just a finance manager, because having an MBA in finance and strategy, I thought it was a good thing. And after 6 months later, I was CFO Group France. 6 months later, I was CEO Group France. So it was not really resting. Then the group was doing a big acquisition. France needed to be dissolved due to cartel, so to monopoly, in fact. It was dictated by the European Commission. So I sold the company to CBS. Everybody knows, I think, CBS. I thought I had peace. Then they called me back. And then I was business development Southeast Asia. To be very honest, it was very hard to finish my PhD because I was in between playing, but I managed to finish it. To summarize a little bit, 27 acquisition mergers and IP rights, etc. I think I know all the big five lawyers very well around the world. I visited quite fair big country. I think I was more in the airport lounge than at home. Other than this, to be very honest, how to say it? I'm very honored that people give me a prize, but I'm not into prizes and neither awards. It's very nice for them. I met a lot of prime ministers. I met even Philip Kotlers, etc. But it's not that drives me. What drives me is people. And what drives me, in fact, is to be human. And what drives me is to be able to help. My initial dream when I was very young was always to work at the United Nations. Because I believe that if you can change one thing, little thing that can affect a lot of people, you have already done your part in the world. So you can somehow leave this world in peace. And that's my goal. So as long as I'm alive, my aim is whatever I do, if I can help people in the middle, that's what I want to do. That's my goal.
That is the most beautiful thing that one can do is transfer your experience, transfer whatever you have learned in life to others and create future generations towards a better tomorrow. I think that is the most wonderful thing a human being can do. I'll have some more comments from the audience, and we have with us Mr. Imad Kareem, and he himself is a marketing guru. He teaches the strategic marketing and the marketing courses at Greenwich University. And during my master's, he was also my teacher as well. So, when we all the marketers at one place, it's a very interesting place to be. What did you say on that?
It is interesting. There are different ways of doing marketing. And I think several specialists or marketeers try to drive it in a different way. I always think that doing good and doing well always good together. We need to lead the company with purpose. Just cannot do marketing for the sake of marketing to just get more customers. You need to drive your business with purpose. And at the moment that you have this purpose, I think in today's marketing, it's the most essential. Because if you look at the marketing 4.0, your community is, in fact, the most powerful um, tool that exists outside. You never make your decision alone today. Look, when you go in a shop today and you look at the product, you check. Somebody around you is going to check this brand online. Somebody is around you is going to check the community that's advocate for the brand online. Somebody is going to look at the comments that they have on the product online. And if you're not a honest brand, if you're not doing good, the community will sanction you. The people will sanction you immediately. Look what happens to Nike. Look what happens to McDonald's. Look at what happens to all the big brands. At the moment that they don't behave properly, the community will react. And that's where somehow small brands, really small enterprises, small entrepreneurs have now a chance. And now than ever after COVID-19, with small brands, innovation, those small technology IT companies that comes with great ideas that is driven by a purpose. Can you believe it? They can beat big companies, and big companies want to buy them out. For which reason? Because the world is no more top companies and small companies. It's horizontal. Online, everything is horizontal. It's where I totally agree with Professor Bubet Kotler and Professor Herman Katajaya. There is no more, but the big gun has 100% trust for the people. Influencer has no more the trust of the community because the community knows that they are paid to say what they say and they don't believe it anymore. Fake product has no place anymore because the community online will judge it. The community online will tell you why. I had a discussion with my professor in France during COVID. He said to me the best way, and we had a long discussion, and I always be obliged to him because he is now the director of the university, and he taught me so much. He told me for a brand today to survive after COVID, for a big brand, you need to come back on the origin of the brand. What was the identity of the brand? What was the value of the brand? What made the brand initially famous? So if you come back on the values of a brand, that means at the origin of the brand, everything comes back and on the reset button with COVID-19.
Very true. And what we've noticed around the globe, and especially where you mentioned the word influencers, what we've seen, the switch in the mediums and the popularity of media is the new thing is the social media, the digital media, the likes of Facebook and Instagrams and Snapchat. Normal people who are not linked and who doesn't know the real essence of marketing and all that stuff and how it works, just on the base of a few followers, they are getting hired and they've been paying, they're paid handsome amount of money to talk for a brand. And as you said, whatever they say is not true, and that is ruining the identity of many brands as well. So, to the latest marketing, how can we avoid this? Where just for the sake of some money, people will say whatever you wish to. So that is also ruining a lot of brand image, and how you put it so beautifully that many brands are coming to their originality from which they have switched over the years just because of the switching trends and because of the people likes.
True. The point is that if you look today, don't underestimate the netizen, the millennials, and the women. They are very, very powerful. They know exactly which influencer is, and they know exactly which information to search online. There is always bad people or good people online, but today we are not facing buyers that are just buying for the sake of buying. They are smart buyers. They look at the comments and they weight the comments. They know how many comments are true and how many comments are not true, and they have discussion. That's the reason why the next advertising is in fact conversation. You The most powerful, in fact, advertising is having a conversation. And the new hashtag is your tagline. Because at the end of the day, the people will follow the influencer. The influencer can go top and down. You know that several influencers, because of their life, personal life, they can be brought back down, etc. So they are also not chilled. So at the end of the day, like I said, the community has this strength, and the buyers are smart, and somehow I trust, in fact, in the decision of the human being to make the right decision. And if you see how many brands have been brought down, it's you can hire the most famous influencer. If the brand is bad, the brand is bad.
I totally agree to that, ma'am. I'll add on a comment here. This is on the behalf of Greenwich University, and we all, the entire Greenwich family, right here. It's nice to have someone as accomplished as you here. Agreed, customers are smarter and well informed. So I totally agree to it. Even when I'm shopping online, so the first thing I see is the ratings of the brand, the seller, and then go through the comments and the feedback that people have given, and then I make up my mind whether I have to buy the product or not. So you have to be smart when you're using these tools where you cannot see the product physically, but there are other observations that you can go through before making a choice. So for that, awareness is very important.
And if you look, coming back to the influencer, if you look, I've seen somehow, and it becomes a trend now. People are checking who the influencer are, for which brand he advocates, and what he's saying about the brands. So some influencer are advocating for competitors' brand. So somehow the people find it out, and
Yeah.
somehow the people are smart. And you know your sanction when you speak about rating. The first sanction that everybody knows whether it's good or not was for the film industry. How many people look at Rotten Tomato or what, IMDb to check whether
I
the rating of the film is good or not?
Right. I am certainly one of them who looks at the ratings first, because if I don't know about the movie, I read the little details, the summary. But then again, the IMDb makes me sure that if it's 7+, so definitely I must watch it. So I'm one of those who do look at the ratings.
Yeah, that's clear. Sometimes I say that these are bullshit. It was rated 9, but it deserves a 4. But again, it's a question of opinion. But it makes you go and see yes or no. That's the point. If you look today, if we switch, before we were in front of we had a family, we were watching TV because back in the 70s, 80s, it was like, wow, to have a big TV screen, etc. Today, what they're buying, in fact, what is the real TV is the YouTube for free and video on demand. And it is not one channel that they're watching in the family, it's multiple channels. So,
Yes,
but at the end of the day, online, offline works exactly the same. 15-second advertising or 30-second advertising convert on your TV, on your big screen, or on your multiple is the same. You just
absolutely,
need to understand the conversion. That's
absolutely, ma'am.
what 4.0 is about.
Yeah, so we have another question on the behalf of the students of Greenwich. The question is: brand is built by the people who work for it. Please share your thoughts on that. Also, please share how is brand advocacy built online through communities.
Okay. This student must be a marketing student. Brand advocacy, in fact, in the era of marketing 4.0 is very simple. There are 5 paths that, in fact, the customer goes through. You are aware of a brand. Um, a customer today knows that there are multiple brands for one product. The next question was, why am I interested in one of the products? Why I'm attracted to one of these products? And the next part will be, I would like to ask about this product. This is where I connect with the community. That's where I look at the rating. That's where I look about the comments, etc. Then you have the action to buy. Once you have bought it and you are happy, then you will recommend the brand. And that's all the way through to brand advocacy.
Right.
One who does it very well from the aware into advocacy is in fact Facebook. Facebook is making you aware and appealing about the product, gives you a brand advocacy with your like or not like, but doesn't make you, in fact, the middle ground on the purchase action, because if you want to purchase, you go offline or on another place to purchase it. Coming back to the people that build the brands, the people that build the brands are people like you and me. We are offline.
Right.
And if we are offline, we need to understand what the community wants. Not only the offline community, but also the online community. This is where we can, in fact, co-create product following what on the bracket the community wants or is looking for, or we guess that they are looking for.
Right.
Or that we simulate that we are looking for. But at the end, it's always the same. We come back that we need the offline because we are human. And people also want to know whether you are human or not. Otherwise, why would they ask online whether you are a robot or not? Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely right. And ma'am,
yes, please.
yeah, so it was indeed so much fruitful for all the marketing students out there and every person who is interested in marketing. You just brought such insights that even people who are not into marketing are now curious about it and the future that marketing holds. But before we leave, ma'am, as much as I'm loving this conversation, we're running out of time. Apart from the marketing, just so lively when it comes to life, you're always positive. So, what is the secret behind it? How do you keep yourself going, and how do you manage that smile on your face all the time?
Hope. Hope for a better life. Hope for better equality. Hope for that everybody can make a gesture that is little for them but a lot for other people. So as long as you have hope, you keep going and you keep smiling, because for 1,000 people that does bad things, there are a lot more that are doing great things, and that's the most important, is to have hope. Like
Right.
you have hope in
Okay.
human mind.
You like my smile?
I love your smile.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So now we know you know 7 languages, and you just learned the eighth language because you welcomed us all in Urdu. So, how would you like to rate? Because before starting the session, you told me that you've been to Karachi and you love the barbecue here. So, how was your experience when you came here to Pakistan?
At first, when I took my visa, all my friends in France told me, "You're crazy. You are totally crazy. It's a country not to go." I
Okay.
say, interesting. Then I met a Pakistani in the airport, and he told me something very, very funny. He told me, I'm not scared to die because I think hell is better than where I live. And I was like, okay, welcome to Pakistan. Then I saw a lot of guards with weapons, etc., in front of the hotels for security. I said to myself, yeah, that's
Okay.
nice. But beyond all these things, No, it was the most beautiful experience. There are beautiful people. Like I told you before the session, I had a tea with a camel. I had a tea with a camel. I never had a tea with a camel. That was great. I saw children. I saw beautiful women. I saw so much things. And my friend Shoaib showed me the real Pakistan. And that was the most rewarding experience. So beyond what everybody can say.
And what about the hospitality and about the people? How did you find the people of Pakistan?
I come back on what the first question was. The brand are made by people. Unfortunately, sometimes a country are made by the politician, but it doesn't reflect the people is behind. And the people behind are sometimes much greater than what it reflects internationally. So for me, I have beautiful friends from Pakistan, and I cannot tell anything bad about them because I love them so much. Um, Khalid Alvi is a very successful marketeer that is in Malaysia. Shoaib is very successful. I even met the founder of Pakistan, one of the founder of Pakistan. So at the end of the day, how can I describe it? If I were to travel somewhere, don't look at what is said by the government about the country. Look at the people behind, because the value of the country is the people.
And I'll definitely second this. And before we started our session, we were talking offline, and you asked me that you weren't expecting this. So I told you that I will reply to it once we're online. So I'll share it with you now.
Okay.
Everyone's watching. So I'll tell everyone about this, and I'll also share it with everyone. I do not create any opinion about any person at any point of time until and unless I meet them and I know them as a person. Because just as you said that before coming to Pakistan, you heard lots of negative things, lots of people saying that bad things about Pakistan. But once you landed in Pakistan and you experienced it yourself, your whole idea about Pakistan was different. Same goes with life. Never ever judge anyone or create an opinion until and unless you have a personal experience. And ma'am, you are one of the most sweetest and the most humble people I've came across, with such intellect, with such knowledge of your subject, and yet you're so humble that you're always transferring all your experience to the younger generation so that they can build upon it. And I think that is the most wonderful thing one can do. But you still missed one thing. You did not tell me about the barbecue of Pakistan. The
Oh,
barbecue
the
that
best experience of my life. It was the softest meat that I've ever ate in my life. And I tried to have it in Malaysia, the barbecue, because there are some Pakistani that are opening barbecues here. Nothing the same. I had barbecue at midnight with Troy somewhere in the road of Pakistan, and I was not even scared. I was not even scared. I was just, I found it great. I really found the taste so soft, so moist, so, oh my God, it was, it's, yeah, I just would go back to Pakistan.
So whenever next time you come to Pakistan, I'll definitely help you taste some more Pakistani cuisines, which includes our biryanis, our fry kebabs, our khata kat, and there's lots of lovely dishes that is waiting for you. So hopefully, next time you come to Pakistan, you'll explore more positive sides and the up north beauty of Pakistan as well.
That's great. So, like I said, I'm giving online courses. If somebody wants to join me,
Sure.
please contact yourself. You have all my data. If somebody has more question details, please ask me. I'm never afraid of answering questions.
So, ma'am,
Um,
how can people reach you? If you can tell them, how can they reach you?
I think I send you the flyer. Please contact you. He has my contact number. But I can share, or you can share my WhatsApp with them, and they can
Okay.
ask me any question anytime. I'm like an open book, non-stop answering. You can ask me whatever it is. I will always answer because I think um, you should not be selfish. Yeah, that's the word. Don't be selfish. It's not worth living being selfish.
It was wonderful to have you here, ma'am. But before you leave, your last words. How was your experience here at Greenwich Live Sessions?
And sorry again.
How was your experience here at Greenwich Live Sessions, the program that we just did?
Oh, um, one thing. You are really handsome and really sweet.
Thank you so much. I'm actually blushing now.
In French, we would say, je voudrais te croquer. Means
You
if I could bite you, I would bite you. You are so sweet.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That is so sweet of you, and indeed, it was a pleasure for all of us to have you. We'll definitely have another session, and we'll stay in touch to learn so much more from you. Stay safe and keep smiling, ma'am.
And please, good evening to all the people, all your audience. And I hope I can go there back very soon. And a lot of love. And please, during this difficult time, help each other. Be generous with each other and do whatever you can, because I know there is a lot of student association that can help the poor and the needy. Please do this, and that's really important.
Right. So, ma'am, you welcomed us all in Urdu saying Sham Bakhair. So, I'll teach you another word saying Khuda Hafiz.
Oda Hafiz.
Yeah, Khuda Hafiz. It means you're under the protection of God.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Right?
very much. Yeah.
So, right, guys, you heard Ma'am Marceline Girol from Malaysia, and she was here with us, and she shared beautiful journey of her life. She shared all of the experience of the wonderful things she has been doing over the years, and most importantly, she taught us the best and most simple secret of life is how to stay positive, how to move on with life, how to create opportunities, how to grab onto the opportunities, and how to adapt, how to look at the future, and how should and how can you secure your future by innovating and stepping up into things that are not very popular these days, but in the future they will be the real thing. So that was all from today's session. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned quite a lot from it, and hopefully you will implement it on your life. So we'll be back tomorrow with another session with another guest. Until next time, keep smiling, stay positive, and Pakistan Zindabad.